What up, 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 what up? What's good, people? What is up? What is up? Well, hello, sir.
Hi, hi.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I don't like you on that side. I like you on this side because the people come to see you and not me.
They do not come to
So
see me. Trust
they
and believe.
come. All of the people come to see you,
No,
sir. They do not
incorrect.
come for me.
That is not accurate.
How were you real bit earlier today? And I think I'm gonna like your energy this time of day.
Thank you so much for being able to move it. I really appreciate this.
Look at you.
Sincerely appreciate this. I'm tired, and they got their work out of me today. I got to give them that. They got me
They got
today.
the butter from the duck.
I need to
You
be
like
delivered from bondage. That's what I felt like at the end of the day.
mm. I mean, but you know what that does mean? That means we get to have a nighttime run your mouth.
A nightcap, if you will.
Ooh. Y'all know that's dangerous for me to have a nighttime run your mouth. Oh dear God. Oh, we're gonna have some things in store for you tonight. Stay tuned. We'll be back at 8:30 for Run Your Mouth. But right now, we're gonna do some politics with my boy Kamz today. We got so much to talk about. It's always so much every week, Cam. I feel like every week since January 20th.
My
God
birthday.
of mercy, God of love, since your birthday.
Hmm.
You have been working me, okay? I've been worked since your birthday.
You've been working me. Because recall when you first positioned this
We're
segment,
not going to talk about that. Let me say hi to the people. Since you want to
Don't
talk
interrupt me
about
when I'm
all
making
this.
a valid point.
We asked you all that, sir. Anyway, let's say hello to the people. Hey, Katrina Taylor, you are first. We got Crazy Homebody Girl that's here. We
Hey,
got Demetria here. The people are here for our red, blue, and black. Y'all let me know if y'all like the time change, because you know that means we're gonna be real. We're gonna be all the way live tonight for Run Your Mouth. I'm gonna have me a gort drink. Hey, Terrence Green, what's going on, sir? Terrence Green is I believe a new member down to the members only chat. He's one of our new members in the members only chat. I hope I forgot to warn you, Terrence Green, when you go over there to the members only chat, you got to be, it's certain people you can talk to, and certain you can't. They be real animated over there. They be having a lot going on. Stay away from the NSFW section
that's
of the
interesting.
members only chat, because
Mhm.
that's where Paul, well, no, Paul is not even in the members only chat. I'm sorry. That's where Xavier and Harold and Ronald be at,
Down to the grocery
and
store.
Cams. They be down there to the
I just be at the
NSFW.
grocery store. Don't even do me. I just be at the grocery store. Thank
You
you.
ain't putting nothing in the grocery store. I finally started putting stuff in the grocery store. I said, let me make a grocery store for the people who like
What am I supposed to
groceries.
put in there?
Huh?
What am I supposed to put in there? I just
I-
I just go to curate. I'm just a curator. Just go in
oh
and look.
Lord. Anyway, the grocery store is open over there too. I mean, we have the run me my cooch or run me my coin section. Ain't nothing in there. It's a.
Well, who the heterosexuals? What the
I
heterosexuals at?
mean, it might be some lesbians that like the cuter.
Oh, this is true.
You
This is
know, it might be some bisexuals. Terrence is a whole heterosexual man. He
okay.
down to the members only chat.
Well,
Jason is a whole heterosexual man.
but I don't think he's not down to the members only on the Discord though.
Discord. He's still on the
He's still on the IG.
Instagram.
Yeah,
Let me say hey to the people. Hey, Paul. Speaking of non-heterosexuals,
I love
hey
Paul is so
Paul,
funny.
ciao, ciao.
Oh,
Hey Candace F. Hey Janae Brown Mama. Rosanda. Hey Rosanda Hedrick. How you doing today? Ronald. We got Ronald up in here. We got Universal Goddess.
yeah.
Child, listen. Run your mouth if you listen. Run your mouth is gonna be at 8:30 tonight. Lay around 4. We gonna have a good times. While Kamz is over there sleeping, we gonna be wilding out over here. Okay, we gonna be wide open
I
tonight.
may or may not be asleep. It
We
depends.
gonna be wide open tonight. Okay, wide open. Hey Ravine.
Are you talking about
Hey
live or are you talking
Harold.
about later? Like after midnight wide open?
We're looking refreshed in this new time slot. Oh, they say we
Hey,
look
my Harold.
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 Harold. Yeah. Hey, 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 hey. Oh, they say we look refreshed.
I do be a little bit tired when we normally do our normal segment. So
Mm.
that's
By
that's the
that
excuse I
time,
use.
I be done worked all day. I be done did a whole run your mouth, and then I come and do red, blue, and black. Mm.
I
Look
mean,
at Ravine. Look at Ravine. I see what I'm saying. They don't come here for me. They don't come here for me.
but me and Maureen, that's my boo. We just have a special relationship. She gets me.
Hey, lovely 31 blueprint.
Hey,
Jenny,
Tracy.
Jeannie says she is confused. Jeannie, listen. We had a switch, a flip flop. We versed today. We went straight versatile there. Today we flip flopped.
Get this shit out of here. Don't say that to me. Top on me. Fuck out of here.
Listen, it's okay to be versed every now and again. A whole flip flop, okay. And so, run your mouth is gonna be at 8:30 tonight. Okay, it's gonna be at 8:30. Just to lay around for it. Be ready for it. Hey, Xavier.
Exactly, Harold. Damn whole agenda. Hey, Xavier.
You really, Harold? I ain't even say nothing to you yet, Harold. Okay,
You
God,
gonna leave my damn brother alone. That's what you gonna do.
I ain't even did nothing to Harold.
You always starting with Harold. Harold don't be doing nothing to nobody.
I
Here
ain't
you
even
come.
said nothing about Harold
Here you
today.
come. Here you come with the foolishness.
I have not said anything derogative about Harold yet.
Mm-hmm.
But tonight, Harold, on Run Your Mouth, I got you. I got you, Harold. You wait till Run Your Mouth tonight. What do these people want with my life? God,
No, you know what they want.
I
You
know.
know
And
what they
that one show won't it. That's too much.
want. You know what they
that's
want. Is you
that's
gonna
too
give
much
it
for
to
me to
them.
be taking right now. Hey, G Smith. Uh, I saw you put some stuff in the grocery store.
Gross. Look, Xavier, you you own it. I don't know where you get it from, but you got the best content. Yeah, Teddy been slacking, but that's not even there.
I have a day job. The members only chat is for y'all. It's not for me. It is for you all to
We
have
don't have day
community.
jobs, Teddy. We don't
Huh?
have day jobs.
I'm saying it's for you all to post stuff and put it there and have community and have conversations. It ain't for me to be doing everything.
You do everything else in the bedroom, so what's the big
Child,
deal? Oh, you use a fly
child. Look at Demetria. Lock at Demetria. Lord. Look at Ravine.
coochie.
Dear God. Hey, Lock Queen. Lock Queen, how are we here? You see what they got me talking about? Jesus. We supposed to be
Hey,
serious
my
right
really
now.
B. What up, boo?
This is red, blue, and black and not run your mouth. Really be. I'm going live for run your mouth at 8:30. So tribe meeting, go all the way to 8:30 and then do a redirect at 8:30. You got me, really be. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have tribe meeting at 6:45. She gonna go all the way to 8:30 and then she'll hand it off to me. That's how we're gonna do it. All right, really be. Got you. All right, let me say hey to everybody else and we can get started on today's episode. Mm. Not, you know what? Jesus God, this is why. This is why we don't do this early. This is exactly why. This is exactly why. We're supposed to be serious. This is red, blue, and black, and
What's the
y'all out
little
here with
gate
all of this
between
foolery.
friends, Teddy? What's the little gate between friends?
Oh dear God. Hey Tracy W, how are you? How are you, my love? Tracy C. We have both pieces of the Doublemint twins here. Ciao. Hey, Spicy Original. How you doing? Look at Janae. Janae say she get on top every now and again. Every now, every now and again. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
She's so pretty. Anyway,
Cha. So you put eyeballs and then you say, hey, Kamz, you don't say hi to me because I ain't shit, right? You put eyeballs, you put hey, Kamz. No, hey, L Teddy. How are you today? You all right?
she
I'm
got
so
your
glad to
number.
be
Like,
over
what are
here
you
on your
doing?
channel.
Y'all see each other in person. I still have not met Really B. And I've been to DC 4 or 5 times for work. It just never works out. I need to see my Really B in person.
Hey, L said, listen, let me get this party started. Welcome to episode 23. I ain't even welcome y'all. Welcome to episode 23. Uh, and then she said hello to everybody. Everybody but me.
This you were on one
Just
today.
a
You were really on
mess.
one today.
Just a damn mess. Anyway. uh am I snapping today? I'm sorry. Let me back up. I apologize. Welcome to Red, Blue, and Black, episode 23, where regardless if the country is red or blue, we'll always be black. I'm here with my co-host today, Kamz. Say hello to the people, Kamz.
Hello, hello, hello. Hope you all are doing well today.
Is this the energy that you need out of me right now?
No, I
Should I
like
be channeling
no.
an NPR radio host?
Mm-mm. That's why they getting budget cuts now.
Because as according to you all, I was a little too hyped up. and I should bring my energy down. So let me bring my energy down to match the energy of my co-hosts and all of my wonderful subscribers and viewers here today. It's so great to be here on a terrific Tuesday. We have a wonderful show for you all today. On today's episode of Red, Blue, and Black, we'll be discussing. I forgot that fast. We'll be on today's episode of Red, Blue, and Black. We'll be discussing the continued takeover of our government by the clandestine Department of Government Efficiency, led by your president, Elon Musk.
Look,
We'll
listen to
also
little baby. Listen to little baby. Listen to little baby. That's all I'm gonna
we'll
tell you.
also talk about the illegal deportations and the outright uh, um, defying of Article 3, the judiciary. We'll also talk about some scary things to come with regard to our judiciary. And finally, we will continue with the dragging and dog walking and monkey stomping of one Mr. Chuck Schumer, of the great senator from the great state of New York. Cams, are you ready to give the people what they want?
When you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Let's go.
And then there's that. Hello. Hold on. Let me come out. Hold on. Um, Mariah Whitney, where you been? I love Mariah Whitney. For those of you all who don't know who Mariah Whitney is probably one of my first subscribers to this channel. Back when it was just me and four other people in the chat on Saturdays, the original Silly Saturday, Mariah Whitney would be over here cutting up in the chat way back in
I ain't
2019.
got no yams.
And shout out, shout out to Mariah Whitney, one of my longest standing subscribers. Mariah Whitney is an educator as well. And I'm so glad Really B could tell you, Really B could go back to the days of Mariah Whitney cutting up in the chat. But yeah, I want to give a special shout out and hey, how you doing? Hey girl, hey to Mariah Whitney. So glad to see you. So glad you're here. Want to say hey to you. Anyway,
Not at school
hey
right now.
Terica.
Come on. Cutting up at school. We love to see it.
Terica, did you ever get into the members only Discord? You never told me if you got in. Didn't he try to dim my shine, LC? They was over here coming from my throat.
How I try to dim your shine?
Lord. I don't know, Demetria. That's a good question. Mama gives me a power bottom though. Her energy just gives me straight power bottom. Does gives me one of them straight don't touch me
Not even
bottom.
power bottom. Just calm
He
down.
give me one of them slap bottoms, just a slap, don't touch me bottoms. Don't even acknowledge that I have you know, genitalia.
He gives me a fist and pig. That's what he gives me.
A dick pig, one of them. Just
Mm-hmm.
knock on the door. I'll have it tooted up and be used as a cum dump.
Calm down.
Mm-hmm.
Badly built come down at that.
Oh wow.
You saw his stomach?
Oh wow.
See?
Anyway, look at Really B. Where have you been? Listen, Mariah Whitney was a staple on this platform, cutting up back in the day. Child. You want to talk about cutting up back in the day? We used to have a saying. The saying was after the first 5 comments, just ignore everything Mariah Whitney said. After the first 5 to 8 comments, just ignore anything else that comes across the screen that says Mariah Whitney. Anyway, Terica, I sent you the link, right? Let me know if I sent you the link, Terica. I think I sent you the link, Terica. Let me know if I need to resend you the link, Terica, because I know I sent you the link. Um, the camera right already cutting up. Let me know. DM me again, and I can send you the link, Terica, because it's real easy. You just download the app and then click the link, and it's real easy. All right, let's get this party started. Cams, you ready?
Of course.
All right. All right. Well, in our first topic here today, God, in our first topic here today, um, the clandestine Department of Government Efficiency has been on one. So yesterday, the Department of Doge and the boys over there down to the Doge. So they ran up on the U.S. Institute of Peace. Now, the U.S. Institute of Peace is not a government agency.
They're
The
independent.
U.S. Institute of Peace is a private nonprofit think tank. It does have government funding. There are some ex officio members of the board that are secretaries within the executive branch, but it is not a government agency. It is a private non for profit entity, right? That has government funding. Doge rolled up on them with police and basically told the president of USIP, the U.S. Institute of Peace, USIP, you got to get the hell out. You're going. You're fired. As if they have the ability to do that, right? The Trump administration summarily placed Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth, and the guy who's over the treasury. I can't think his name right now. It'll come to me.
It's all right. It'll work.
Secretary of the Treasury on that on the board of directors, and by with DC police from District of Columbia had all of them removed, had people removed and told them they got to get out, that they were summarily fired. Now they of course said that this is illegal. This is not a government agency. You cannot just do that. It was a whole standoff for
Yeah.
hours.
George
The
Moose was not
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
George Moose was the president of USIP. He was not going. He said it's illegal. You cannot do this. It was giving me exciting. It was giving me somebody with a backbone is in government because I feel like a lot of this Doge stuff could have been stopped had you had black people in charge that can just ask one question: Who the fuck you talking to? And I think all of this would have been resolved. There will be no Doge.
But I mean, the police eventually had him leave. They are obviously there's going to be legal ramifications and repercussions to this. So you got that happening with Doge, them doing that. Excuse me, and the fact that they came there, Cams, with the police tells you they knew that what they were doing was not right.
But then
They
this
knew.
this is also why I have an issue with the police in general, right? When they had that Supreme Court case that basically said, well, they can discriminate against you if your IQ is too high because they don't want people that are able to critically think. They just want people to follow orders. That's going to be very dangerous under this administration because they are definitely going to use law enforcement to browbeat people into submission. And I was like, it's giving fascist. It's giving authoritarian.
Listen. My thing was I wanted to be a fly on the wall when they rolled up in that man's office with the police talking about you got to get out. And he looked at them motherfuckers like, who are you talking to? Who the fuck are you talking to? Cause this is not a government agency. Go find you somebody to play with.
Oh, he
Now,
black. See, that's exactly what he black.
I ain't even looked him up. Hold on, let me look him up.
He black.
I know. Listen.
He black.
Oh yeah. And he old school too.
He black.
Yes.
He black.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he got something. He born in 1944. Yes, he black. Yeah, he here for it. They rolled up in that man's office and he looked at them. Who the fuck are you talking to?
See,
The fuck? Nah, bro. Oh, you gotta leave. The fuck the hell I do? I'll be right here. Sending another email. Bro probably
we're just
no,
built
I'll be right here.
different. We're just built different. I just think that
Probably started sending another email. And furthermore,
look, you laughing, but I've actually worked at a place where they fired a lady. She came in the next day.
Like nothing has happened. No, she probably walking out the door. Girl, I see you tomorrow. Tomorrow came. You think her desk gonna be empty? She beat you there. You roll up there, look over. Girl, I thought. Girl, they weren't serious. Girl, I'll be right here,
They
girl.
was
Girl,
just
what we having
tripping.
for
They ain't
lunch?
mean it. They ain't mean it. She was done it.
What we having for lunch? Can you imagine these 20 something, 20-year-old, 19, 20, 21-year-old little white boys rolling up on George Moose? Talk about, yeah, bro, you got to go. Wait, what? Nah, bro. Try that again. Mm-mm.
Like, cause first of all, Big Balls, sir, you can't tell me nothing with that nickname.
Your nickname is Big Balls.
Move out
Who
the
are you
way.
talking to, Big
Look,
Balls?
the adults are talking. Move out of the way.
Child. Child. They, they said, Big Balls rolled up in there. Bro, you got to go. Who? First of all, I'm not your bro. Second of all, who the hell let you in my office? Cause you talk about fired. That's who about to be fired. Whoever the hell let you in my goddamn office today.
Okay.
That's
Clearly, there's been a breakdown in the security protocol.
look at Xavier. This is why we
Baby,
can't have
do you even know what
relationships.
this man looked like?
This is exactly
Because I'm
why.
disappointed that you said that.
Yeah.
Google that man.
Huh?
I need Xavier to Google that man.
He probably look like some twink that you can find in the twink section of the hub.
That's an insult to twins.
Mm. The man's name is Big Balls. Big Balls. Anyway, and so first of all, what do we do now that we have the this administration summarily trying to take over entities that are not government agencies? So now I keep trying to tell y'all we're not on the cusp of an authoritarian takeover. We're here. We
We're
are
in.
full scaled in the middle of it, and nobody's doing anything to stop it. Nobody.
Well,
And
they're
so,
waiting on you to do something about it.
what do we do now that we have your president's administration summarily saying, "Yeah, I don't give a damn if you're not a government entity. I'm just gonna take over this shit just because. Oh, you got any amount of money from the government? Yeah, let me take this shit over." Because isn't that essentially what he's trying to do with Columbia University? Is that
Yeah.
not really what we're trying to do down to Columbia University?
Yeah, they want to quell free speech, and if they have to threaten a few people that are going to roll over, because let's be clear, a lot of these people have no backbone. They don't. They don't have no. It's like, I hate to say this, but it's almost as if people just show up for the paycheck, and then they're like, "Oh, I still get paid regardless," and damn the consequences. But I don't know if you've seen this, but a lot of students that are currently at Columbia are telling, high school students, don't even apply here, don't come here.
Like,
I mean, and still, I don't even get like, oh, they're cutting our funding. You have an endowment that's in the billions. You'll be fine. Fund it yourself. Then you fully own it. Then the government can't come and say, well, we gave you a piece of this funding, so we have to own. The patent is yours. Do what you want with it. But maybe that's just me talking. I don't know. I don't speak bitch assness. So continue.
oh wow, you heard it from Kamz. He does not speak bitch assness. In case you were wondering.
I mean, you don't either. I mean, maybe it's the Capricorn in me, but you just can't tell me what to do.
And if you tell me what to do, I'm probably going to do the opposite just to piss you off, just to be petty. Because my
Very
petty meter is way up here. Hey, Catherine Powell. So listen, in addition to uh, the USIP, because what's going to happen with USIP, and you see this a lot of times with how they do things. They know a lot of people don't know what USIP is, so they're not going to pay attention. There's going to be no real. It's not going to be. It's not going to make the headlines. that you had police with guns come in here and take over this non for profit. However, this other entity that Doge has been given permission to wreck shop in will touch our people, and that's the United States Postal Service. Now, and I say that because if you chronicle outside of DC, the government agency that probably, if you go back to the 50s and 60s, that probably had the most black people working for it was the United States Postal Service. Many people who, when they retired veterans, when they couldn't get jobs other places, they went and started working for the post office. The post office, if you chronicle the history of the post office and the black community, it was largely involved in a large majority of black people in the South having some form of middle class employment,
Hmm.
government benefits, being able to buy your own house, and being able to, get you a nice established without having a without having a college degree, without having any of those other prerequisites. You could go there straight with a high school diploma and make a good living at that time. And now you have them talking about gutting even USPS. Now
10,000
they
jobs.
want to cut 10,000 jobs. Now let's be clear. DeJoy, Louis DeJoy, is from Trump's first administration. And if you recall, when Biden first, I blame Biden for DeJoy because they told Biden to get rid of DeJoy when he first got in office. I vividly remember everybody was saying DeJoy is a disaster. He does not need to be postmaster general. You need to because there's I forgot the name of
You know what? Fuck it. Let's get into it. Let's get into the joy because you know what? I'm on one. First of all, let's talk about how he is the first postmaster general since the early '90s to not have any sort of experience with the United States Postal Service. Let's start there. He's also the first postmaster general in U.S. history to come from a private competitor that he still is affiliated with. So he's gutting this to say, hey, this doesn't work. We should offload some of this USPS stuff to private enterprise. The shit's been rigged. Like, but you
and
know,
his issue is he wants the USPS to be like the private entity that he came from without the regulations. But the USPS has always had regulations embedded into what it is from Congress. He wants all of the congressional regulations for the USPS taken away
mhm.
so that they could turn it into something else.
Also the
So
joy,
that when
he was a CPA, right? So the dangerous people that I've always encountered in politics and in business in general are CPAs and MBAs. No vision. Everything is down to the numbers. Speaking of numbers, the only reason why the Postal Service looks bad on paper from the finances is due to the 2006 Postal Accountability and Enhancement Act, where they're required to pre fund retiree health benefits for future employees. They don't even work there yet. They don't work there yet. And that law was passed to cripple the post office. Now, mind you, some of these people that are so pro Trump, y'all stay in rural areas. It's not financially feasible to go deliver to you, but the government still does it because it's not ran as a business. If you want it ran as a business, then you're going to have to go drive your ass 50, 60, 70 miles to go get your mail. It's
hmm
not coming out there no more. That's what that means. If it doesn't make money, if it doesn't make sense, they're not going to do it. But when we look at government services, there is no ROI. It's where is our population? Let's serve those people. We've gotten away from that with a lot of these administrations, to include the Democratic ones, because neoliberalism has basically destroyed the middle class. Let's just be real, and it's accelerated the proliferation of billionaires. That's how I'll say that.
And let's also be the U.S. The United States Postal Service was already taking it on the chin because of DHL, UPS, FedEx, Amazon, and a whole lot of other places that do that. But there is still a large majority of the American public that rely on the USPS. Many people, most of the country is in rural areas where, for whatever reason, they may not have transportation to get out to the big city. There may be 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 miles between them and the next big city. So you talking about not having their mail or packages being able to be delivered to them, that's a problem. That's one of the post office, was an area where you could get a lot of things that you needed to do that involved the federal government. A lot of things you would get done at the post office because that was one place where you knew, regardless of what sector of the country you were in, you could go, and within your zip code there was going to be a post office there. So you could go there and get your passport. You could go there and have other government documents, get something notarized, do other things that involve you interacting probably with some federal entity. That was the purpose of the post office. When you change your address, your legal address and things like all of these different things, you have that stems from that. And I also think that it's not a coincidence that you have this entity that is so entrenched in the success of poor people being able to make a living and make a life for themselves. And you some even to this day, I know a lot of people who was knuckleheads, didn't do what they were supposed to do when I was in school, and they maybe didn't go to college. And guess what they did? They went, they went, cleaned themselves up, got this good office job, and they've been there, for about 15, 20 years, making it happen. Was able to make something for themselves, and they got their government job. They know my pension is set. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They're thinking, I ain't got to worry about this. Oh, I got mine. My shit is etched in the stone. And now you have this upheaval where you have these people coming in and say, oh, you thought that was what it was? Oh, yeah, come get some of this.
and to your point that you were making, I think that there's several pros of the postal service. Like the biggest one is universal service. No matter what that zip code is, by law, they have to deliver to you. To that, there's no profit motive for them, right? That's why they're able to do the services they are, because there's no profit motive. Like UPS, FedEx, like, yeah, they're in competition with the postal service. But if the postal service was to cease to exist,
Mm,
everything's going to go up,
yep.
because the postal service, since they don't have that financial incentive for profit, they're able to do things essentially almost at cost, and that's driving the private prices down. If we no longer have that downward pressure, okay, now what? I mean, I think it's called what do they call it? Enshittification. How you have a good product, and then when you have this financial need to exceed quarter over quarter over quarter over quarter, you make the core product worse. Or you didn't come up with some bullshit ass subscription that everybody's doing now. Look at YouTube. But let me not say too much. Look at
I
YouTube.
mean, it's like you said, they want to run the government like a business, and the government should not be a business. The government is here to serve the people. That is it. That is all. Now, if you happen to make a profit because of the stock market and all of that kind of stuff, okay, fine, beautiful. But there are services that should be entrenched in the federal government that should not be touched. The postal service is one of those. Hell, if we were a regular first world country, if we were a really modernized country, we would have universal health care. We probably would have universal education, or at least some form of it. At least some form of it. I'll say like that. Even in China, they
You know
have,
what? We don't have universal health care.
huh?
You know we ain't got Joe Lieberman. Joe
Yeah, I've been
Lieberman.
there. Yeah, and we remember him.
I mean,
He
and it's
gone
like
now.
when people argue about like socialism, I'm like, if you're so numbers driven, the outcomes are just better for every democratic socialist economy. They're just better. We spend a shit ton of money and our life expectancies suck in comparison.
So Mary said, I want banking in the post office. I mean, the post office was for a lot of rural areas, that was a centralized area between that, the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? The because everybody got to go to the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter, and I said, I notice I didn't mention the church, because the church, you can be segmented and segregated in the church by your denominations, but everybody got to eat, so everybody going to the grocery store, no matter race, creed, religion, or whatnot. You going to the grocery store. And in a lot of those rural areas, at some point everybody had to go to the post office. Didn't matter, whatever your ethnicity, race, creed, sexual orientation, whatever, you had to go to at some point the post, or you should at least be able to rely on it being there for you.
I wouldn't even give Woodrow Wilson to me. That's we got Andrew Jackson 2.0 back in the White House.
I don't know. It might be a combination of the two.
Well, the reason I
Because
say Andrew Jackson
Woodrow Wilson was very anti
is
immigrant too.
racist as hell is what it was.
Yeah, he was racist as hell.
He's
And
racist.
now he shared that with Andrew Jackson. Both of them were
The
racist as
reason I say
hell.
Andrew Jackson 2.0 is because Andrew Jackson thought he was one of the smartest people in the room, and he was one of the dumbest presidents we've ever had.
I don't think he thinks he's the smartest person in the room. He thinks that he's the most powerful person in the room, because I think everything he does, he gets one of the people around him, the Stephen Millers of the world or whatever, done came up with it. I really cannot stand him. I really
Have you?
cannot stand him.
His face is so damn punchable.
He just makes my ass
And it's like
itch.
if you were conventionally attractive, you wouldn't be this angry at the entire world. But here we
Like,
are.
he makes my ass itch. I promise you. I promise you, I can't stand Stephen Miller. But I'm very concerned about this piece. One, both of these entities, USIP, them going in and just, guns ablazing, taking over this entity on, and their rationale being, oh, you get government fund money, so we just gonna take over. Damn you to hell. And then with this post office situation, that's a direct, to me, that is going to directly affect us
But then
directly.
the missing piece that we have here is that the Joy is also giving Doge a wish list. Hey, these are things that I want y'all to like look at, like
Yep. Yep.
31,000 leases. Like you're gonna be
Hmm.
closing, you're not be closing leases in places that like you're really ruining accessibility for people is what you're gonna do. Wants to close, start like, oh, let's look at these leases. Then you also talking about, oh, counterfeit postage is a problem. Where the hell is counterfeit? Talking some over $1 billion in counterfeit postage. Like that's what y'all combat. Where? Like show us the receipts. Like if you
I really would love to see that.
like
Like,
they make these incredulous claims and they don't have nothing to back it up. But trust me, bro. No, I don't trust you. You lie every day.
that's just like today, somebody was said they had to read out from the president's meeting with Putin today, and said, well, here's what came off the readout. I don't believe none of that shit. Whatever comes out of the White House, I do
No.
not believe any of it. I don't believe it. If I can't hear it with my own ears, if I can't see it with my own eyes, if I can't, interact with it with my own touch, I do not believe that shit because these people are known to lie or make shit up.
That's all they do is lie. The only thing I can trust them to do is lie and then backtrack when shit blows up in their face. That's the only thing I can trust this administration for. Stepping on the rake and hitting themselves in the face and lying.
It's just bring it down. You see, I'm bringing it back down. All right.
Let's get into this
In
deportation.
our next
Let,
in our next
let's
topic
talk
for
about
today,
deportation and
let
how.
me let me rechannel my Mr. Rogers.
Oh God.
So, as we have been discussing here and on multiple outlets, there is the deportation of individuals who may not be U.S. citizens but may lawfully be here, be it they have an H-1B visa, be it they have a green card, be it they're here on a student visa, or whatever mechanism that they are here, they are here. You also have those that may illegally be here that are also being deported. Now, we have two separate cases here, Cams. We have the case of the Trump administration picking up what they have said to be, and I'm saying what they have said to be
Yes.
illegal immigrants because I don't know. There's been no due process to determine any of this. There's been nobody to pull the records or go through. This is all just on based on what we think. We know they picked up people who were actual U.S. citizens in these raids. But anyway, they picked up who they have claimed to be illegal immigrants, and they ceremoniously, I should say, were flying them off to El Salvador and Honduras and other places. Well, they tried to do it real fast because they knew a lawsuit was coming. And they knew they had a little bit of time before the lawsuits came, and said, "Get it off the ground, get wheels up, wheels up, wheels up." They get in front of the court, in front of the judge. The judge says, "No, that shit is illegal. Turn their ass back around." They said, "No, we ain't doing a damn thing." Or they'll do one of these. Wait, what? We can't hear you. You're breaking up. We're over international water. Huh? No, wait.
And then
What?
it's just
You,
it's
you
so
know,
frustrating to me.
Oh, no, no, no. Wait, Cams. It gets worse. With the professor at Brown University, the judge ordered them not to deport her before they deported her.
They still
The
deported her.
judge gave the order, do not, you are not to deport her. They still deported her. Still deported her. And said, "Oh, y'all think
And then
we
there was a
give a damn?"
doctor that got deported to Lebanon despite the
Yeah,
judge.
that's what I'm talking about. The doctor, she's a professor at Brown University as well. She's the doctor that works on transplants. I think kidney transplants and things. I think it's Dr. Alim. I think it's her name. But
They said she had them leaders of Hezbollah. They were like, "Girl, you gotta go."
now the judge has ordered. The U.S. District Judge has ordered them. James Boasberg, y'all don't need to do no more deportations. They asked your Attorney General, y'all, are there going to be any more deportations? She said, "Absolutely." You had the see, and I need this judge to get a few balls on him. Okay, so you had the lawyer from the DOJ that was in front of this judge. The judge asked him to give him information on who authorized these flights or where they were going, and he told the judge, "No, I don't have to give you anything. I've not. I'm not going to do that." Wait, what? That was an order. No, I won't be giving you that. I haven't been authorized to give you that information. Excuse me? That's when he was supposed to be found in contempt. That's
Mind you,
immediately.
mind you, this is why I said this president is Andrew Jackson 2.0. He flouted the courts all the damn time and did whatever the hell he wanted to do. That's why he's Andrew Jackson 2.0 to me. We do not have equal branches of government. These people have literally ceded their authority in Congress, and it seems like, if they're not in on the fix, as most of these, I would say, the older conservative judges, i.e., the ones that were appointed by Bush 1 and 2 and prior, they see this for the realistic threat that it is. But anybody that's been appointed by Trump in his first term, they're all giddy to go along with it. And the flippant attitude of the administration is, well, fuck it. We'll move fast. We'll move so fast that there's going to be a backlog for the court cases. We've already done what we wanted to do. So what if you said it's illegal after the fact? They're already gone.
Well, let me show you what your president
Not my president.
had to say about dear
You mean that
God above
illegitimate occupier of the White House?
that, yeah, that young man. So when Judge Boasberg ordered, all of you got to bring these people back, so forth and so forth. Here's what your president had to say about that judge. This radical left lunatic of a judge, a troublemaker and agitator who was sadly by Barack Hussein Obama, was not elected president. He didn't win the popular vote. He didn't win all 7 swing states. He didn't win 2,750 to 555 counties. He didn't win anything. He won. I won for many reasons in an overwhelming mandate. But fighting illegal immigration may have been the number one reason for this historic victory. I'm just doing what the voters wanted me to do. This judge, like many of the crooked judges I am forced to appear before, should be impeached. We don't want vicious, violent, and demented criminals, many of them deranged murderers, in our great country. Make America great again.
First of all, let's dig into this stupid ass statement. You won the popular vote by 1.5%. You're saying all these counties that you won, land doesn't vote, fucking people do. You won a shit ton of counties where nobody fucking stays, where there are more goddamn cows and chickens than people. What fucking mandate? What mandate? Even if you did win, I'm not going to be, but from his own mouth, he rigged the election. From his own mouth, that's what he said.
He did say rigged election. He
He,
did say
he,
that.
he said it from his own mouth.
He
You
did.
barely won. There is no fucking mandate, and there's a reason why your approval ratings in the shitter. Because all of these people that voted for you are now waking up to the find out part. Oh wait, you're gonna hurt people that look like me too? Yes, that was always the point. You're not in the billionaire donor class. Yes, you're gonna get fucked. Welcome to the next 4 years. Congratulations, you played yourself. How he even got to be president with a felony? I mean, whatever. Whatever.
Simera said the judge requested the paperwork on his desk by noon today. I doubt he got it. I very much doubt he got
And
it.
then there's these mistaken cases of identity where you're saying that these people are criminals, but there's no proof. You can't just do this by fiat. You need to. There's no due process, which is why
Right.
Venezuela is complaining about these flights. Where is the due process?
Mind you, y'all trying to save money. We're paying these governments for housing these illegal immigrants that you're saying are illegal. You're having these other. You're not sending these people in most cases to their home countries. You went over, brokered a deal with El Salvador. El Salvador says, yes, we have some of the worst prisons on earth. Sure, send them all to us for a price. Because you didn't think that they were just going to roll over and let you just send people there without a price. So yes, we're paying them in the amount of $6 million a year to house these people. We are. We are. Hmm. And I'm sure there's a quota on that. And once you exceed that quota, we'll be paying them more. Uh-huh. Meanwhile, across town, The Article 1 has a member who has decided that he's going to obey the orders of his God King, that be Republican Representative Brandon Gill out of the great state of Texas, who introduced a resolution to impeach U.S. District Judge James Boberg. Mm-hmm. He did. And
Why he
guess
look
what
like that?
happened? Huh?
Why he look like that?
Oh, Brandon.
Yes. Why he look like that?
I saw that picture. I said, "Oh, yeah, that's Brandon, child."
This is the same person that hates multiculturalism, but his wife is Indian. Continue.
Well, he introduced a resolution to have U.S. District Judge Boasberg impeached. And guess who decided to wake up, Cams? Guess who decided it was time for them to be awakened from their slumber? That would be your Chief Justice, John Roberts, who never has anything to say about any of the fuckery and fuck shit that we have going on, right? Never have nothing to say. Oh, nothing to see here. Oh, it's as usual. We'll just be over here denigrating the Constitution over here down to the SCOTUS if you need us. Well, he woke up from his slumber and had something to say about the fact that your president was bloviating and blathering about this morning about impeachment of judges that don't agree with him. So John Roberts came out and said, quote, "For more than 2 centuries, it has been established that impeachment is not an appropriate response to disagreement concerning a judicial decision. The normal appellate review process exists for that purpose." End of quote. And that's what Justice John Roberts said in a rare and brief statement issued just hours after your president publicly joined demands by his supporters to remove judges he called crooked.
Mind you, after the Chief Justice came out with that statement, Fox News already put a hit piece out on him. They already put a hit piece out on it. And now
It was
they're
waiting. They
calling
were
him
just
an activist judge. And from
it was
my
locked and
purview,
loaded.
this is the man that sold the legitimacy of the Supreme Court to Trump directly. You sold your soul. They're literally getting everything they wanted, and it's still not enough. These people will not be satisfied until they've picked all the bones clean of what used to be the United States of America. Going from the only superpower in the world to irrelevant in 4 years.
Oh, did I tell you that resolution to impeach District Judge Boasberg already has 5 co-sponsors?
Well, good luck getting the majority of the House and 2/3 of the Senate to vote for that bullshit. It's performative. It's a waste of fucking time. You need to be doing the business of the people, and Congress hasn't been doing that shit for years.
I just want you to know who these people are. Maybe they're your representative. Many of them are from the South. You have Representative Eli Crane of Arizona, Buddy Carter of Georgia, Mike Collins of Georgia, Barry Moore of Alabama, and Andrew Clyde of Georgia. Uh huh.
You
Mm-hmm.
said Alabama, baby. I was already over it.
Now,
Alabama has one decent representative. Let's move on.
Well, they have two now. Remember, they got that new district
I say what I
with
said.
Figures. I think it's is it Figures or Figaro. I think it's his last name. Black guy. I think his name is Figures.
Shamari.
Shamari Figures. There we go.
Mhm. I say
They
what I
just and they just got that because the Supreme Court finally got something right. Where they even when the Supreme Court says, "Yeah, you went too far with your gerrymandering. You really have gone too far." So they had to. So now we have my girl Sewell. What's her first? Teresa
Terry.
Sewell. I think
Terry
it is.
Tool. Yep.
Terry Sewell. Terry Sewell,
Yep. She's
and
still in that list,
Shamari Figures.
and Shamari's in the second.
Hmm. So Alabama got at least we got two now, but the reason that I point out the Georgia situation, three of the five co-sponsors come from Georgia. Georgia, y'all are going to be in a battle next year because John Ossoff, um, can give me 2 minutes for this, okay, because I want y'all to pay attention to something. I want y'all to pay attention to something.
Go for it.
Now, here, what? Let me connect these dots for y'all. Back in the year of our Lord 2022. That was when they were saying we need to flip the Senate. They said that we have a possibility to flip the Senate. We can do that, right?
Hmm.
I'm sorry, not 2022. Back in the year of our Lord 2020, excuse me, 2020. Uh um there were two Georgia seats for the Senate up for election. There was the guy who left the Senate early, and then there was another guy who wasn't going for reelection. So there ended up being two elections. John Ossoff and Reverend Warnock were the two front runners. John Ossoff is the white Jewish guy. Raphael Warnock is the black guy, dark skinned black guy, Reverend of Ebenezer Baptist, pastor of Ebenezer Baptist Church, where MLK was pastor, right? I remember talking to my friends that are part of Georgia Dems, and they wanted the Atlanta delegation wanted Warnock. They made the count, but the rest of the Georgia Democrats said we're not going to be able to do that. Let's put the white guy in there into and white guy into the main seat. And what I mean by the main seat, there told you there were one seat was going to have the full term where you got your full 6 years and you didn't have to run for reelection. The other seat, because the guy got out of the seat early, you only had it was an election for his remaining 2 years.
2 years. Yep.
So you would have so the other person would have to run again in 2 years. So it would be like they were running for the Senate two times, like
Back
back
to
to
back.
back, almost like they were running for a House seat.
And that's why
So they
Warnock
give
had to run against Walker.
exactly. So what happens is they give the white boy, the Jewish white boy, the 6 year term, and they give Warnock the 2 year term. White boy wins and Warnock wins. Warnock got to go in there and go to blows again. Nonstop election cycle because soon as you get sworn in, you less than 2 years from the next election, you got to immediately go back to campaigning again. So you got one. So they tried to give the easy race to John Ossoff, but here's where they messed up. They did not know we would be where we are now. John Ossoff next year is up for reelection. Raphael Warnock is not up for reelection
So
again
28.
until 2028, when all bets are off. It's much easier to run during an election year
Then it is in the
than
mid.
it is, especially. And by the time we get to 2028, they're going to be so sick of everything the Republicans got going. If we still have elections by then, it'll be much easier for Raphael Warnock. However, we're talking next year, Georgia and Democrats of the Senate. John Ossoff is going to be in the race of his life next year. It's a midterm election, and Georgia just went back red, right? And you got
Hmm.
Georgia Republicans digging their feet into the sand, digging their feet in the sand, saying, "Oh, we got this. Oh, Georgia, they promised Georgia will never again go back blue." That is what they have said, and they're banking on that. And I don't know that Raphael Warnock has the not Raphael Warnock, John Ossoff has the political capital in the state of Georgia to take that Senate seat.
I think that when you look at, here's the thing, at the federal level, Georgia's, the seats are both owned by Democrats. When you look at the state, Republicans own the entire state positions.
Hmm.
And to be quite frank, if Brian Kemp runs for the Senate seat, there is no way in hell that
He'll win.
Ossoff wins.
No way.
There's no way in hell.
Because the thing about Brian Kemp is he's a centrist Republican enough to where he can garner independent votes. He's not way out there. He's not a MAGA nut whack job. And he's going to task with Trump at times about different things. Like they've been adversarial at times about different things. But I could see them losing that. That's another seat that
Because
they
like
could
right
lose
now,
next
the people that
election.
have expressed interest, they've all said if Kemp doesn't run, they will run, to include Marjorie Taylor Greene.
She don't have an ice cube chance in hell.
But I mean, a lot of their current U.S. representatives would say that they would run.
Yeah, that's why you
Buddy
have.
Carler, Mike
Mhm.
Collins, they've all said like if Kemp doesn't run, I put my name in the hat.
And true to form, um, who did I just call on? True to form, Mike Collins, Buddy Carter, right there, co-sponsoring because they think that they're going to be able to cash in on that last bit of Trump goodwill. They honestly believe that, but
I
y'all gonna
think
have a
that
problem.
I think that the best way that we gotta hope that this Trump derangement gets a lot worse for Ossoff to do well. But if Brian Kemp runs, he's not really associated with MAGA. He's not. He's not. And I think he's done a good job of keeping his name out of that federal kind of space. Really focus on
Hmm.
Georgia. But like they said that Kemp might run and what is his name? Raffensperger or whatever. The Secretary of
Oh,
State
who was
that
the
refused to
Secretary
give
of
Trump
State?
the
Hmm.
vote, he could
Raffensperger.
potentially run for that Senate seat as well. So it's just
Hmm.
like you got some heavyweights, and I'm like, Ossoff, what have you really done?
Right.
Like Warnock has came out swinging a lot of times, and I feel like Ossoff
Hmm.
has kind of been.
Rossoff, not Rossoff. Ossoff has had the easy path the whole time. You ain't had to get out there in the paint and get because let's be clear, Ossoff in 2020 benefited off of Raphael Warnock. Let's be clear. Black people came out in Georgia for that. Now, here's another. I don't know how we got to Senate seats. Another Senate seat is Texas because Cornyn's seat is coming up next year. And Cornyn is Paxton, Ken Paxton, who is the attorney general out there
The
in
drunk
Texas,
attorney
is
general.
a strong attorney general, has said that Cornyn, his time is up. He ain't did nothing with what he got. Now, mind you, Cornyn lost just by a couple votes from being a majority leader, the Senate majority leader. But Paxton came right out and said, "Yeah, I'm here for it."
I
Hmm.
think the thing is, people that are really strong at state politics, strong arming their way into doing whatever, that's not going to work when you get to the federal level. It does not work in the Senate at all. Like, look at Ted Cruz. He's hated on both sides. Hated. He get his paycheck. He show up for the votes, but like he doesn't really have influence there. So I don't think. I
Mm.
mean, you can elect a Ken Paxton to the Senate if you want to. You're gonna have two assholes from Texas that nobody likes,
Mm.
and it's going to impact the funding that you get. It's going to impact the committee assignments that you get.
I wonder, well, who's gonna, people are trying to get our girl to run. I don't know that that would be a good race for her.
Miss
Um,
Crockett,
yeah, I don't think that would be a good race for
I
her.
think that she should run against Cruz because he's deeply
Yeah,
unpopular.
I don't think she should get into the fray
I
over there
think
with
that she
Cornyn
should
and Paxton.
stay in the
That's too
House,
much.
get some. I think that this is what I want Jasmine Crockett and some of the more progressive minded people to do. They're going to have to push the party left. Um, and I think it's really funny that I mentioned this. Uh, I just got an email from the Democrats the other day asking for some fucking money, telling someone to fight Trump. You're not fighting Trump. You're rolling over and capitulating. The ones that are fighting Trump, they're in the House. I'll donate to their campaigns directly, but the
Hmm.
party gets none of my money. After that shit Chuck Schumer pulled,
Yeah,
nothing for me. And he was like,
and
"Well, I
there,
didn't vote for the bill. I just voted to end cloture." Distinction without a difference, because you knew what the outcome was. Like, I feel
but
like the progressives they need to do a Tea Party type of movement where they just take that shit
yep,
over.
yep.
Kick them old folks the hell out of these leadership positions. They're out of touch. We are no longer able to buy a $60,000 goddamn middle class house on one income. That's not what this shit is anymore.
And the thing about it is what the I think the progressives need to lean into their strength. The strength of progressive movement is the grassroots effort. And right
Absolutely.
now, the people on the ground are incensed. They are livid, they are upset, they are infuriated about everything that's going on. And the one thing about the progressives, they are loud, they are vocal, and they are the few people that actually are putting up a fight. You got the Summer Lees of the world, the Ayanna
Yes,
Presleys of the
please.
world, AOC. You got Jasmine. I even saw but girl, I can't stand her, but she's a progressive. Pramila Jayapal. She out here even you know what I'm saying? Even though I can't stand her, she she get on my nerves.
Real bad.
God, that woman get on my nerves.
Real bad. Real bad.
Oh my God. But what I'm saying is, you got to do this thing grassroots and primary their asses. While they are going into all, see, here's what I want the progressives to do. They got this campaign saying, "Oh, since the Republicans don't want to do town hall meetings, we're going to go into their districts and do town hall meetings." Bad move. That's stupid as hell. Here's what I need you to do, progressives. While they over there playing with the Republicans, go back into those districts where you got them old ass establishment Dems and do some grassroots efforts there to put all of them fuckers out. Put all of their asses out. I love you down, Maxine. It's time to go. Benny Thompson, you my frat brother, and I love you down. We can grip each other up. It's time for you to go. Jim Clyburn, get your ass on and stay the fuck going. Go the fuck away from us, Jim Clyburn. Nancy, you gonna die in the fucking seat. Get your ass on, Nancy. Why are you here? Al Green, I love you down, and I love your conviction. It's time for you to go on, sir. It's time for you to go on. You and I love your passion, but you waving a whole cane at him, and I need somebody that's not gonna be waving a cane. I need somebody with that same passion, but that can go and knuck if you buck if they need to.
But
I'm
I'll
just
say
saying.
this. It's the fact that somebody that needed a cane had the wherewithal to get up there and show some energy that I like the youth. I'm gonna say this. A lot of these Gen Z folks, y'all doing a lot of bitching, moaning, groaning, and complaining. I don't see that showing up to the polls.
And we do have one Gen Zer in
I don't want to talk about
Congress.
him. I don't want to talk about him.
Here's my issue, Maxwell. Here's my issue. I can
I don't
talk
want to.
Maxwell. Maxwell, he can't. He plays scared because they have threatened Maxwell Frost. I'm telling you,
He
inside.
tries to ride the middle, and you can't ride the middle.
Well,
Either you stand up or you
here's
put
why
your
he
shit
does
where it
that. Here's
belongs.
Maxwell's problem, and what disappoints me is Maxwell is huge in terms of grassroots, big in terms of being able to organize. That's how he got there. He's an organizer.
Mhm.
However, Maxwell Frost has Val Demings' former spot. And Val Demings had to give that up when she ran for Senate and lost back in 2022. So what happens is this: they let Maxwell Frost get in there, but they told him, keep it together, fall your ass in line, or you will get primary Val, because Val wants back in. She ain't got nothing to do right now. Her, if she don't get in, they want to run her husband, who was the mayor of Orange County, and that's the county where Orlando is. They want to
This
if
is what
it's
I'm gonna
not
say.
her, it's
This is what
gonna
I'm
be
gonna
her
say.
husband. So that's why Maxwell doesn't go as hard as he should.
I'm gonna say this because I feel like I'm not really connected to people politically. I've been disconnected for a long time to local politics. I feel like the state Democratic parties and their "I've put in my time" shit fucks us at the federal level, time
Hmm.
and time and time and time again. Because the dirty ass politics that determines who gets put up, that's got to go. If the people aren't resonating with you, then you're not the one. Everybody doesn't get to be the man or the woman at the front. Sometimes we need people in the back. Sometimes we need, some grassroots organizers. But I feel like a lot of the grassroots organizers need to be the ones running. They understand the needs of the people a lot more because the Democratic leadership is disconnected. Like, and
And
we'll get
go
to it
ahead.
in
I'm
the last
sorry.
story. We'll get to it in the last story. I don't even want to. We'll get to
And
it.
and the last thing I want to say about that is too, because this is so segue into our last story. But you did this to yourselves, Dems. Shall I remind you, Democrats, what you allowed APAC to do? Shall I remind you how I've been screaming my ass off over here on this platform? The fact that every time we have progressives in Congress, y'all get APAC and other people to try to primary them, or you do everything you can to make sure that they don't make it to uh, uh, um, Congress at all. I'll never forgive them for what they did over there in Texas with Jessica Cisneros, and y'all put Henry Cuellar there, who's now been indicted for bribery. Him and his wife. Y'all did that, Democrats. Y'all put Henry Cuellar there. You bitches did that shit. Y'all put Corey Bush out for the guy Wesley Bell. His punk ass ain't did shit since he been in the fucking Congress. I ain't heard a fuck thing from him. You put that white bastard. Why I can't think of the man who took Jamal Bowman's spot. I think his last name Lattimore or something like that. Y'all put his bitch ass in there. He did a fuck thing but roll the fuck over. So I'm trying to understand why you bastards think we should have any faith in y'all. Because y'all ain't did shit
George
the
Latimer.
whole time. I'm sorry, I had a look. Am I spiking out? Where's my fan? Let me cool down. I'm sorry, y'all.
I said what I said. This is what we
I'm
come to the channel for.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Give the people what they want to see.
I'm sorry, y'all. I had a moment. But these people be making me mad, y'all.
I don't even
They
get
be
mad.
making me mad.
I really don't get mad anymore. I just cut off the wild.
Speaking of which, speaking of which, Chuck Schumer is still
Who?
taking some. He gets on my last good nerve. I done had a problem. Yeah, it's Lattimore. Thank you, so Jeff. Thank you. It is Lattimore. I thought it was Lattimore. Baby, listen. Chuck Schumer,
Just ain't done nothing.
he done a goddamn. He did a damn thing.
Look, he
Ain't did
showed the work in the
nothing.
suit. That's it.
Right. Like what the fuck? But y'all did that, Dems. Y'all wanted that. Y'all sat by and all of this, and y'all was quiet as a mouse. Y'all let APAC give y'all all that fucking money, quiet as a mouse. Mouse. You did that, Hakeem Jeffries. You are a not only it was Jamal. I'm gonna just take Jamal Bowman for example. Hakeem Jeffries. Jamal Bowman is not only just a fellow Democrat. He's a fellow member of the CBC that you gave up a CBC vote to some white motherfucker because you taking APAC money too. He's also a New York congressional member. He's from your fucking. He's black. He's from your state. He's in your caucus, and you just summarily let APAC come in here because they done gave you millions and millions of dollars. Oh yeah, Richie Torres has gone rogue too. I got some things to say about his bitch ass too. Now maybe he done sniffed a few too many poppers while he done got his back blown out down to the New York City. Now they done told me about that young man. He done went completely rogue too. Lay off the fucking poppers, Richie Torres. That shit is how you lose fucking brain cells. But I just don't understand. And we could name candidate after candidate that y'all stupid asses keep wanting to stay center, not knowing that your fucking base is going much further left. And if y'all don't see the writings on the wall now, your fucking approval ratings are in the fucking cellar. You're fucking cellar dwellers at this point, bottom feeders with regard to your approval ratings. Nobody wants you people there. How are you going to get people off the couch? You're not even fighting against the Republican Party anymore. What 2024 told you is your opponent is the couch and the remote control. And you're not doing anything to beat your opponent. That's what you got to remember. Y'all act like y'all fighting the Republicans. Y'all by trying to tell people, oh, we're not them. We're not them. No, you're fighting against the television and the fucking couch. And y'all need to remember that shit. Because if you don't give some people something to watch, you don't give people some hope to believe in, you're never going to be back in power. You stupid ass dick fucks. I'm sorry, Kamz, talk because I'm a Chuck Schumer. What happened, Chuck Schumer? I'm spiking out, y'all. I'm sorry.
Um,
Chuck Schumer. Yes, I'll
yeah.
let you introduce
So
Chuck
let's talk
Schumer
about Chuck
before I lose
Schumer.
my
Let's
mind.
talk about Chuck Schumer. Let's talk about it. You covered the story on Run Your Mouth, but I just wanted to say that my governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, has come out swinging on Chuck Schumer
He
because
has.
he's a flip flopper. Um, he expressed concern over the decision to support that Republican-led funding bill to avoid a government shutdown, but we cut 13 billion in domestic spending, whatever. Um, and I think that he's right. It has led to some tensions, but it's like the leadership is not connected with the voter base, and they think that just because they're not as bad as Trump, that we're going to go to the polls for that. We can just stay home. If you're not going to fight for me, if you're not going to do anything for me, I can sit my black ass at home. And y'all will be asking just like the rest of these people, well, where are the black people? Why aren't the black people protesting? We at home. We at home. I don't do performative bullshit. If you're not going to do something tangible that benefits your voter base, why do you exist as a party? And the progressives are right. Schumer is out of touch with the party's values, and I think that he does need to resign. Some grassroots organizations that are out there raising the money have said that, if they can't get him out of there, they're cutting the money off. And as we all know in American politics, money talks. Money fucking talks. When you have a
Here-
lot of these billionaires that have said, what plan? There's no strategy. They ain't getting none of my damn money. That's what they're saying right now. A lot of us are saying we've cut off the funds. The Democrats are going to have to change or they're going to die. They need to push to the left or die.
Here's my question. Here's my question. This is a real question.
Okay. Hmm.
Does this not sound eerily like June, early July of 2024 after the first presidential debate?
Mm.
So if this mirrors what the fuck we saw last summer prior to July 21st, who's going to go and put old Yeller out of his misery? Who's going to go have the conversation?
I nominate myself as tribute. I'll put Old Yellow out of his misery.
And that conversation does not stop with Chuck Schumer, because let's be clear, Hakeem, don't try to come over here, Hakeem, and Nancy and all of y'all, like y'all flexing like, yeah, we did the right thing because we voted. You bitches ain't did shit but roll over the whole time since you've been there and watched our rights ceremoniously get fucking obviated from us. So don't try to come over here. All of them hoes need to have conversations.
I'm
The entire leadership. Dick Durbin ass, he voted for cloture. His ass need to be gone as the minority whip. Chuck Schumer ass need to be gone. All of their
they
asses
don't
need
need
to
to
be
be
gone.
gone. Like they don't need to leave government. They need to go to the nursing home. They need to
Like,
be in
why
a
are you
home.
here?
A 1-star reviewed nursing home is where they need to be.
They need to clean house in the fucking house too. Clean the house. This
Get
shit is
Nancy
already
up
burning.
out of there.
The
Tired
shit
of
is
her.
already burning to the ground at this point. You might as well clean house, okay? You
And
might as well.
this is what I'll tell you. This is what I'll tell you. I feel like when you've got the moderates and the progressives mad, and the progressives mad, like both of them combined, because the moderates have always kind of cozied up to the establishment Dems, but now you pissed off both of those wings now. And then Chuck Schumer is trying to do things like have meetings with MoveOn.org, and like that's not gonna work. And look, the aides have already said the meeting did not go well. Let me be clear.
Mm.
Let me be fucking clear. It did not go well. My insider knowledge, they won't Chuck up out of there. And some people have said
First of all,
they will put up money for AOC to run because they want him gone.
well, the problem is we got a long time before Chuck come out of the seat. Chuck come out in what, 2030 or 2026?
He
I mean
just won. He just
2028.
won re-election.
Huh?
He just won re-election. But I mean, I don't think he's
That's
going
what
to
I'm
rerun
saying.
anyway. I don't think he's going to rerun.
I think he comes out in 2030. He's up in 2030.
Look, the other one can go too.
But
She voted for Cloture too.
yeah,
Get that bitch
Gillibrand
out of
ass
here
can go.
too.
That bitch, she never did a fuck thing. Kristen Gillibrand, she never did a fuck thing. Gillibrand ain't did a fuck thing up there in New York.
You know what she
Tell
did?
me one
She
thing.
ran Al Franken the fuck out of the Senate. That's what the fuck she did. And I'm mad that
She
Hillary
can, she can
fucking
go.
Hillary, you should have saved your ass in the Senate. That's what Hillary should have fucking did. I liked her in the Senate.
Because she didn't fuck off in the Senate.
She did her damn job. She's good at policy. That's what the fuck Clinton does.
But Gillibrand, I'm like, girl, what the fuck are you here for?
Look,
My thing,
I'm with you, Jeff. Out. After she did that shit with Al Franken, out.
we're at the point, and it's not like I said. Both chambers needs an overhaul. These primaries are coming up. Both chambers need a fucking overhaul. What we need to see right now is we need to see a groundswell of grassroots efforts, and now is the time to find those candidates that we're going to be able to put time, effort, and energy behind, because next year will be here before you know it. And I'm not even concentrating on
No,
what the fuck the
he's up in
Republicans
28.
got going on.
He's up in
I'm
28.
concentrating on cleaning house on the Dem side.
No, we clean him up. He's out in 28.
Oh, he's out in 28?
He just won in 2022. But then this is what I told you. When you looked at New York in the most recent elections, y'all, the governor, sorry, Jeff, y'all governor, she trash as fuck. But that was the closest a Republican has gotten in years. Chuck Schumer, I think based on like what he won the last time he ran, he was down 13.6 points. Get the fuck up out. If you're gonna be a Republican light, they gonna vote for the Republican.
That's the point that I'm making. The Democratic Party keeps fumbling the ball, thinking that they're for some reason they seem to believe that they could get centrist Republicans to vote for them. No,
No.
That doesn't make
The
sense.
centrist Republicans, they don't exist anymore. They've already left the party. They're just
They're
independents.
Republicans now. I mean, they're MAGA nuts now. They're gone.
They're no
They're
more
way out
centrist.
there.
They're no Goldwater Republicans anymore. They're
So
independent.
now, what you need to do is lean into your base. You don't say, "Oh, well," because here's what I'm telling you, Cams, what they're starting to think. You hear them saying stuff. Well, we only lost by a few points here and a few points there, and which means we need to lean harder into where we at. No, the fuck you don't.
Samir, they're not Republicans anymore. A lot of them, they don't have a party affiliation because they feel their party left them. They feel their party left them. Like they don't. They're not really Republicans no more. They're not the kings makers. They don't hold power in the party anymore. Until the code of Trump dies, them people gonna be quiet. I mean, but we also like I think we are holding on to these names. And if you look at it historically, parties have evolved over time. It's just time for new parties. Get rid of the GOP. It's not that shit anymore. It's the Trump party. Call it what it is. It's the Trump party. The
Mm-hmm.
Democrats, neoliberal billionaire dick sucker party. Call it what it is.
That's a damn neoliberal dick sucker party. I'm here for it.
Billionaire dick sucker because they still want that billionaire money. I I know a ton of Republicans back home in red ass Alabama. They did not vote for Trump. They didn't vote at all. And for president, they did not vote at all. They just like, nope, not gonna do it. Because they're not going to sell their morals, their values for Trump because he is literally the abdication of all of that.
Here's also to me this next primary season is going to be one of the most important primary seasons for the Democratic Party because the it this primary season is existential to what we know of the Democratic Party. I say that because of this. We got people that just got voted in, like Ruben Gallegos bitch ass. He just
Talk
got
about
voted in,
him.
and his fuck ass basically is another John Fetterman. He's the Latinx version of John Fetterman, who is the doppelganger for fucking Joe Manchin. Okay, that's what we got going on.
We
And
always
if we,
there's always one. There's always one, no
but
matter
now we have
no matter what.
several.
But
We
this
have
is this
several
is the
now.
issue that I have with the current party. This is I'm gonna just tell you what the issue that I have. We try to be this big tent, big umbrella party. Goddamn, Jeff. We try to be this big tent, big umbrella party, right? And it's whether we do policy aggregation or policy articulation. We always choose aggregation. They water everything down. And I'm gonna say this as a black person. The Democratic Party has not done shit for me since the Supreme Court has shat on the Civil Rights Act. They've done nothing for me since Shelby County v. Holder. They've done not a goddamn thing for me. Being
Made a
less
lot of
worse
promises.
than the other people is not good enough for me.
Made a lot of promises. Remember, at the beginning of Biden's administration, they had the House, they had the Senate, and they had the White House. And what did we get? We got no voter John Lewis Act. We got no George Floyd Act. We got nothing. We got nothing.
Nope. And so that's what they're gonna get from me. Like, I'm lucky enough that I have some pretty goddamn progressive people in my state. They'll get my fucking vote because I know they put their money where their mouth is and I know how the fuck they vote. But the party as a whole, no.
And that's why I say we have to do a better job in these primaries
We have to
with
vet people
identifying.
better.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was about to say. With identifying the people who are going to do what we need them to do. Because the fact that Ruben Gallego, I wasn't, and I'll fault myself, I wasn't that vested in Arizona's primary. Okay. I just really didn't pay attention to what was going on out there because I had other things going on. But we could chew gum and walk at the same time too. So we're going to definitely over here pay a lot closer attention to some of these congressional races, some of these Senate races, where we have people who are in these seats that are not aligned with what we need them to do. Because these people need to be primary. Because then what we're left with is you're left with a Democratic candidate that's so weak or so not aligned to what we want them to be. And what happens? The people stay the fuck home. And that's how we have
That,
what
and
we
then
have.
you see people that it's just like to the point, that a lot of like Ms. Bay thing is making. Like people need to show up in the primary season. You might get 30% of the electorate to show up. You might to a general election where shit
And
actually means
And
something.
Kamz, that's what establishment Dems, they vote on that. They run knowing, oh, I ain't got to worry about the primaries. Ain't nobody coming to that shit anyway, except for the old people or and people who I know gonna vote for me anyway. So I ain't got to worry about. I ain't got to worry about that. That's why we need definitely to be a part of these grassroots efforts. When we find out about people that are in these primaries, please send me the information. We'll do a spotlight over here. I'll start to get their names out to some of my contacts that can really do some things behind the scenes to help get these people out there, because something's got to give. Because otherwise, left to themselves, we'll be back in chains and shackles. Segue to a story I have coming from Run Your Mouth. We're gonna talk about that and Run Your Mouth,
And
where
this
they
is
are
important
really
too.
taking us back to Jim Crow. It's coming. We'll talk about that and Run Your Mouth.
Oh,
But
like even under this
mm,
administration, how there's no they don't explicitly ban segregation for with regard to contractors.
yeah, that's what that's coming up on your Run Your Mouth.
Oh, look, I read. I like to know what's going on. I like to know
Hmm.
how I'm gonna be, screwed over this
Yeah,
time.
we'll be talking about that. How we going back to Jim Crow? I told y'all, I've been saying for the longest, they're taking us back to Jim Crow, and none of us lived through that. And y'all better prepare yourselves and be ready. Listen, y'all can we can make all of the TikTok videos and YouTube videos that we want, but something has to happen on the ground, because if it only happens on social media and there's nothing that is tangible, real, and happens on the ground, getting these people out to these elections, we're just talking in the wind.
I mean, Jim Crow was really like when you really want to think about it, 1870 to what 1965.
Hmm. That wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't.
Some of our parents and grandparents lived through it.
Shit, my mama boomer.
My mama was
My
born.
grandmother would tell you all about Jim Crow and
My
the South.
grandma, I was raised by my grandmother and grandfather, and they could tell you all about the stuff they had to endure and live through.
And it's just like, I think that they think it's gonna be like it was. We're not gonna roll over at this point. You're not gonna take things away from me that I've had since I was born. I'm not going down silently at all. Because I know y'all fear black people. Let's keep it absolutely clear. And you don't fear us because of anything innate. You fear that we're going to do to you what you did to us. And that's why y'all are so concerned with immigration. That's why y'all are so concerned with the great replacement theory. That's why y'all want these white women to have more white babies. It's always been a race thing in America. It was founded on.
Jeannie, we're gonna talk about that on Run Your Mouth at 8:30. See us around here at 8. See me around here at 8:30.
Yeah, see you. I won't be on camera. I might be in the chat talking some shit.
So, oh, it's already 6:45. Listen, I apologize. I came out of my body and spiked out again. I thought I was gonna spike out on Chuck Schumer. I spiked out before we even got to Chuck.
Yes. Chuck gotta go though. He do. Chuck need to go home.
Chuck gotta go. He do.
Chuck, honestly, we need to the next time. I think what we really need to focus on is who currently holding elected office is just taking up space. I really want to do a serious breakdown of that, of people
Hmm.
that need to get the fuck on.
Yep.
People that need to go the fuck home. They can retire or they can go on to glory. I don't give a fuck. They gotta go. Well, they're not going to glory. Let me be clear. They're not going to glory. They sold their souls a long time ago. But I think that that would be a good segment.
Okay,
I
we can
would
do
love
that.
to do that. Well, actually, you know what? Darren gonna be up here. I would love for y'all to do that. There we go.
When?
I
For
don't,
next Tuesday?
shit, I don't know. Look, I'm trying to get this rotational thing started. So,
No,
I ain't got to be on every week. You know what I'm saying.
I gotta be here.
This is your channel,
Your name is up here, sir,
and you can
on the
change that shit
moniker.
real
The
quick.
name is on the moniker, sir.
Oh, you full of shit. We'll talk about this backstage. Anyway,
Cam, tell the people something before we get out of here.
make sure that whoever represents you, they're aligned with what your values are, and if they not, you let them hoes know that they're on notice, because we sending them home. This next election, we sending them home. Yes, I did see that. However, that shit got shut the fuck down. But they were using that as a pretext to try to take people's guns. They were going to classify it as a mental illness and take your guns.
Mind you, we also found out that the what was it, state senator that introduced the bill was just picked up for sexual inappropriate behavior with a minor. And then there's that. On the same day that he introduced the bill.
I'm telling you, they don't care about the kids. Think of the kids. Y'all fucking the kids. Y'all don't care about the goddamn kids. Stop using that.
Not once they're born. Now, if they're not born, they're here for all of them. Once they're not born, I mean, once they're born, they don't care about them. If they're not born, oh, they all about the kids.
And this is why I have such an issue with things like cutting, cutting Medicaid. Like when you look at the populations that it impacts, like are you fucking kidding me? Children are impacted by this. So I don't want to hear that we care about the kids shit. You don't. You don't. And then when you get on the school board, you don't want the kids to learn shit. I can't with these people. I can't. And the fact that, one of my teachers from high school is one of those people now, I'll tan his ass up on Facebook today. But anyway, anything you need to tell the people I'll tell you before we go? Because really be's live.
I know. Listen, y'all, we'll be back here at 8:30. Bring y'all ass back around here because we gonna have a good time at 8:30 for Run Your Mouth. We got a late night Run Your Mouth. Have your drinks ready. Have me on the big screen. You ain't got to be driving home. You ain't got to have me on the phone. You can have me on the big screen TV. You and your significant other, your bust down, your boo, your husband, your wife, your whoever.
Not your books. Oh my
I'm
God.
just saying, just don't have me in front of the kids because I might not be, uh, uh, we might not be, family friendly. But you can have me on the big screen. Anyway, that's all I got for y'all. That's all we got for y'all. We will be back here next week. Okay. Me and that young man will be right back next week. Okay. And as we say around these parts, whether the country is red or blue, we will always be black.
Blackity black black black.
Black. We black, y'all. We black, y'all. We blackity black. And we black, y'all. All right, y'all. Until 8:30, that's all I got for y'all. I'll see y'all then. Till next time. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. We love y'all.
Bye.